It was a bright, brisk morning when Emily Carter hurried out of her tiny apartment in downtown Silverton, clutching her resume in a sense of urgency. Today was the day of a crucial job interview, a chance to step out of her dead-end retail job and finally launch her career in marketing. The city streets were already buzzing with life. Commuters hustled by, coffee shops overflowed with patrons, and the crisp autumn air carried promises of new beginnings. As Emily navigated the busy sidewalk, her eyes scanned the throng of strangers for a taxi. Lost in her thoughts about the interview, imagining how her skills and creativity would finally be recognized, she barely noticed the unfolding scene at the busy crosswalk. Suddenly, a commotion caught her attention. An elderly man, clearly distraught, stood on the corner with a heavy bag slung over his shoulder. His clothes were tattered, and his eyes darted around desperately. Before anyone could react, a small child nearby began to cry, as if sensing the man's distress. Without a second thought, Emily paused. She looked back at the time on her phone. She was already late, and then at the struggling man. Something in her stirred. "I can't just walk by," she muttered to herself. Dropping her bag of resumes for a moment, she rushed over to help him. "Are you all right, sir?" she asked softly, gently taking the heavy bag from his trembling hands. The man, whose name was Mr. Roberts, explained that he'd just been on his way to an important appointment when his taxi had splashed water all over him, ruining his only suit and leaving him stranded. Emily, moved by his plight, offered to help him find a nearby dry cleaner and even to share her umbrella as they made their way to the service counter. In that brief, unexpected moment, time seemed to suspend. The busy city around them faded into a soft blur, replaced by a sense of compassion and urgency. But as they hurried off together, Emily glanced at her watch, and her heart sank. The job interview she'd been dreading missing was just moments away. Torn between her duty to help and the critical opportunity she might lose, she hesitated. Yet her innate kindness prevailed, and she decided that saving a stranger's day was more important than her own plans. She promised Mr. Roberts she'd call him after sorting things out and continue to help him, even as a pang of guilt and anxiety grew inside her. Little did Emily know that simple act of kindness would change the course of her life in ways she could never imagine. The repercussions of her decision would ripple far beyond that rainy morning, setting in motion a series of events that would eventually lead her to cross paths with someone whose influence would alter her destiny forever. Before we go any further, subscribe to the channel and comment below where you are watching from. For our returning subscribers, thank you so much for your unwavering support. It truly means a lot to our community. Silverton was a city defined by contrasts. Its historic downtown boasted charming, cobblestone streets and old brick buildings, while modern glass towers loomed on the horizon. Amid this vibrant tapestry of old and new lived Emily Carter, a 23-year-old whose unyielding kindness and determination set her apart. Emily had grown up in a modest neighborhood and had always dreamed of a better future, a future where her creative talents would be recognized in the competitive world of marketing. Despite the struggles of her early years, she carried herself with a hopeful smile and a heart full of optimism. On that fateful morning, Emily was dressed in her best, albeit slightly rumpled, outfit. Her favorite scarf, a gift from her late grandmother, was draped around her neck, a constant reminder of love and resilience. In her backpack, along with a meticulously updated resume, she carried the weight of her dreams and the silent determination to prove herself at the upcoming interview. In stark contrast, Mr. Roberts, the stranger who needed her help, was a man weathered by time and misfortune. In his late 70s, he had once enjoyed a life of respect and accomplishment, but recent misfortunes had left him vulnerable. His worn-out suit and tired eyes spoke of a bygone era, a time when his accomplishments had commanded respect. Yet beneath that faded exterior lay a gentle soul and a quiet dignity that resonated with those who took the time to look beyond appearances. The setting for their unexpected encounter was Silverton's bustling downtown. The morning sun cast long shadows on the sidewalks, and the air was filled with the scent of fresh coffee and baked goods from nearby cafes. Street vendors hawked their wares, and the city's energy pulsed through every corner. It was in this dynamic urban environment that fate intervened, drawing together two very different lives for a brief, yet profound, moment. Unbeknownst to Emily, the day would soon take a dramatic turn. As she helped Mr. Roberts gather his belongings and escort him to the dry cleaner, her phone buzzed relentlessly with reminders of her impending interview. The pressure of missing this crucial opportunity weighed on her, but she could not shake the feeling that her act of kindness was meant to be. The city, with its vibrant life and hidden stories, was a stage where every decision had the potential to set off a chain reaction, one that might lead to unforeseen, transformative outcomes. This moment of compassion was a sharp deviation from Emily's meticulously planned day. The interview was meant to be her breakthrough, a step toward a future she had envisioned since childhood. But now, her path was unexpectedly diverted by the simple act of helping a stranger, a man who, despite his hardships, exuded an air of quiet wisdom and dignity. Little did she know that the ripple effects of her decision would soon guide her into the orbit of someone who would change her life forever. A man whose identity and status were hidden behind layers of mystery, success, and undeniable charisma. The stage was set, the characters were in motion, and the unfolding story promised to redefine what it meant to follow one's heart in the pursuit of a better life. The immediate aftermath of her decision was a whirlwind of emotions and unexpected challenges. As Emily bid farewell to Mr. Roberts, assuring him that she would call later, her heart raced with both pride and dread. She had missed her interview. The realization struck like a bolt of lightning. Her dream opportunity, the one chance to launch her career, was now slipping away. With a deep, conflicted sigh, she glanced at her phone. The time was far past when she should have been in a boardroom pitching her ideas. Overwhelmed by guilt and anxiety, Emily hurried to the interview venue, only to find the doors locked and the room empty. The rejection was not immediate, but the crushing weight of missed opportunity settled over her like a heavy shroud. In that moment, she questioned whether her kind-hearted nature, which had led her to help a complete stranger, would forever hold her back from achieving her dreams. The internal conflict was intense. Should she have prioritized her future over someone else's immediate need? Was it naive to believe that kindness could coexist with ambition in a world that often rewarded ruthlessness? Back in the heart of Silverton, as news of her missed interview began to spread in hushed tones among colleagues and industry insiders, Emily retreated to a quiet corner of a nearby park. There, under the golden hue of the afternoon sun, she allowed herself a moment of introspection. Her mind replayed the events of the morning. The worried face of Mr. Roberts, the soft gratitude in his eyes, and the fleeting satisfaction of knowing she had done the right thing. Yet, the sting of lost opportunity lingered. She wrestled with the realization that in the fast-paced world of business, every minute counted, and even a small act of kindness could have unintended consequences. Meanwhile, a series of unexpected messages began to flood her inbox. A former mentor reached out, asking if she was all right, and a friend from her creative writing class offered words of encouragement. Among these messages, one stood out, a brief, enigmatic note from an unknown number. Sometimes the right choice opens doors you never knew existed. Call me. Intrigued and with nothing left to lose, Emily hesitated for only a moment before dialing the number. The voice on the other end was calm and assuring, promising that there was more to her story than this missed interview. Although the caller did not reveal his identity immediately, he hinted at an opportunity that might change her life in unexpected ways. As days passed, Emily's initial despair gradually gave way to cautious optimism. She began to reflect on her own values and the decisions that had led her to this crossroad. The internal conflict she had experienced between ambition and empathy evolved into a deep curiosity about what might come next. What if the very act that cost her the interview was also the spark for something greater? Could it be that her compassionate choice was not a setback, but a hidden step toward a destiny she had never imagined? Unbeknownst to Emily, the anonymous caller was none other than Alexander Reed, a charismatic, self-made CEO known for his innovative approach and his belief that success should be built on integrity and compassion. Alexander had built his empire from the ground up, overcoming his own share of adversity along the way. His journey from hardship to success had instilled in him a deep understanding that sometimes life's most challenging setbacks lead to unforeseen breakthroughs. He had been quietly watching the news and social media buzz surrounding Emily's story, struck by the irony of a talented young woman sacrificing her own opportunity to help a stranger. Intrigued and moved by her selflessness, he decided to reach out, believing that fate had a way of rewarding those who stayed true to their values. As Emily conversed with the mysterious voice, she began to see glimmers of possibility in the darkness of her disappointment. Every word from Alexander was measured and sincere, conveying not just business acumen, but a genuine desire to mentor someone who embodied the principles he held dear. The conversation was brief, but it left her with a sense of wonder and anticipation. For the first time in hours, she felt that the world might still have something extraordinary in store for her, even if it wasn't the interview she had planned. The internal conflict now shifted from regret to hope, as Emily realized that sometimes life's unexpected detours lead to the most rewarding destinations. The conflict buildup was complete, a missed opportunity, a moment of profound kindness, and a mysterious call that hinted at a future brimming with possibility. Little did she know, this was only the beginning of a journey that would test her resilience, redefine her ambitions, and ultimately change her life forever. In the days that followed her fateful morning, Emily found herself caught in a maelstrom of emotions and unforeseen events. The initial sting of missing her interview began to recede as the mysterious phone call from Alexander Reed lingered in her thoughts. Yet, as she tried to rebuild her day-to-day life, questions and uncertainties mounted. What did this opportunity entail? Who exactly was Alexander Reed? And how did he come to know of her act of kindness? Meanwhile, within the corporate world, Alexander was busy steering his multi-million-dollar company through a turbulent quarter. Known for his no-nonsense attitude and his keen eye for talent, he had built his empire on the principles of innovation, integrity, and empathy. However, even in his world of high stakes and hard decisions, the story of a young woman who had missed an interview to help a stranger resonated deeply. His own past, marked by moments of sacrifice and unexpected turns, reminded him that sometimes the heart must guide the mind. Alexander's interest in Emily was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. He began quietly gathering information about her background, her education, and her creative endeavors. Through mutual connections and social media whispers, he learned of her passion for marketing and her struggle to break free from a life that had always demanded more than it gave. The more he discovered, the more he felt compelled to reach out, not just as a businessman seeking to fill a vacancy, but as someone who believed that her values and potential could transform not only her own life, but also his company's future. Back in Silverton, Emily's personal life was taking unexpected turns as well. Word of her missed interview and mysterious call began to spread among her peers and in local online forums. Some admired her for her selfless act, while others questioned whether she had made the right choice. The debate raged on social media, with hashtags like #KindnessWins and #FateOrFortune emerging as people shared their own stories of unexpected setbacks leading to greater opportunities. At home, Emily spent long hours reflecting on her priorities. She revisited old journals and mementos, reminders of a time when her dreams were untainted by the harsh realities of adult life. In those quiet moments of introspection, she realized that her compassion was not a weakness, but a strength. It was a quality that had defined her from childhood and one that she had always believed would eventually be recognized. The missed interview, though painful, began to feel like a necessary sacrifice, a detour that was steering her towards something far more meaningful. As the internal investigation within Alexander's company advanced, the tension built to a fever pitch. Senior executives discussed the potential of recruiting a young, passionate mind who was unafraid to follow her heart. The more they learned about Emily, the more they saw in her the spark of a true innovator, a person who could not be confined by conventional expectations. The board of directors, initially focused solely on numbers and profits, started to see that the company's future depended on embracing fresh perspectives and unyielding integrity. The rising tension reached its zenith when Alexander Reed himself made a public announcement. At a well-attended press conference, he spoke about the importance of values in business. Innovation is not just about numbers, he declared. It is about the heart. It is about recognizing the potential in every individual, even when that potential comes at the cost of a missed opportunity. His words, broadcast live and echoed across news networks, struck a chord with many and set the stage for the unexpected recruitment of Emily Carter. Every new development, every social media post, every heated discussion in boardrooms added to the collective anticipation. Emily's journey from a moment of personal sacrifice to the brink of a transformative opportunity was unfolding in real time. The tension in the air was almost tangible, as if the universe itself was aligning to confirm that the right choices, though sometimes painful, always pave the way for a brighter future. With each passing day, the stakes grew higher. The mystery of Alexander's call and the promise of a chance to rewrite her future became a beacon of hope for Emily. The internal dynamics within the company shifted, and what was once seen as a setback now gleamed with the potential of a new beginning. The world around her was changing, and every whispered rumor and every supportive comment on social media bolstered her resolve. In the midst of this escalating tension, Emily felt a stirring of possibility. The events of that rainy morning had set her on an unexpected path, one that was fraught with uncertainty but also brimming with the promise of change. The internal struggle between her dreams and the harsh realities of the job market was slowly giving way to a profound realization. Sometimes, doing the right thing, even at a personal cost, can lead to outcomes far greater than one ever imagined. The stage was now set for the ultimate turning point, a moment when the accumulated tension, the weight of missed opportunities, and the fire of newfound hope would converge to change her life forever. Every eye in the community was watching, every voice on social media was speaking, and deep inside, Emily knew that her journey was just beginning. The decisive moment came on a crisp morning at the headquarters of Reed Innovations, Alexander Reed's multinational company. In a sleek boardroom overlooking the city skyline, senior executives, legal advisors, and key decision-makers gathered for a meeting that would chart the company's future. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as Alexander himself took the floor, his presence commanding yet approachable. Today, Alexander began, we stand at a crossroads where our values and our vision converge. Innovation is about more than technology and profits. It's about the courage to follow one's heart and the strength to embrace unexpected opportunities. His voice resonated deeply in the room, and all eyes turned toward a projection screen where a brief video montage of Emily's story played. Her missed interview, the fateful call, and snippets of her personal journey, all interwoven with messages of resilience and hope. Alexander continued, I believe in the power of compassion. I believe that the right person, even if she arrives under unexpected circumstances, can change the course of our company and our future. The room was silent, hanging on every word. He then revealed a surprising fact. Today, I am pleased to announce that we are extending an offer to Emily Carter, a chance to join our team as a junior marketing strategist. Her story is one of true grit, and her values align perfectly with our mission. The announcement was met with a wave of applause and murmurs of approval. For Emily, who had been anxiously checking her phone for any news, this moment was surreal. The turning point had arrived. The hardships of the morning, the crushing disappointment of a missed interview, and the uncertainty of her future had all converged into a single, transformative opportunity. In that pivotal moment, Alexander's bold decision signified more than just a job offer. It was a public declaration that success and innovation were rooted in integrity, kindness, and a willingness to embrace life's unpredictable turns. We must learn to see beyond the surface, he added, to recognize that every setback can be a setup for a greater comeback. As the meeting progressed, Emily received the formal offer on her phone. Overwhelmed with emotion, tears welled up in her eyes. She realized that her decision to help a stranger, a decision that cost her dearly at first, had set her on a path that was now leading her to a future she had never dared to dream of. The room, the executives, and even the media present witnessed a moment of personal triumph. A young woman's determination to do what was right being rewarded with an opportunity that promised growth and transformation. The turning point marked a dramatic reversal of fortunes. What had begun as a painful setback had blossomed into a beacon of hope and renewal, challenging everyone in the room to reconsider what true success really meant. Alexander's declaration, combined with the visible joy and relief on Emily's face, underscored the power of resilience and the belief that sometimes life's most unexpected detours lead to the greatest opportunities. In the weeks that followed Alexander's groundbreaking announcement, the atmosphere at Reed Innovations transformed completely. Emily Carter's story quickly became an inspiration, a living testament to the power of compassion, resilience, and the unexpected twists of fate. Local news outlets featured her story in profiles that celebrated her determination and her willingness to prioritize kindness over personal gain. Social media buzzed with hashtags like #EmilyRising and #KindnessPaysOff, and she found herself invited to speak at community events about her journey. Within the company, Emily was welcomed with open arms. She joined a dynamic team that valued creativity, empathy, and innovation. Mentorship programs were established, and senior executives, including Alexander Reed himself, made it a point to encourage her growth. Your story reminds us that success is not just about the bottom line. It's about the impact we have on people's lives, Alexander told her during one of their first meetings. His words, sincere and encouraging, bolstered her confidence and reaffirmed that she had made the right choice. At the same time, the incident that had set everything in motion led to significant changes beyond Reed Innovations. The corporate world began to take notice of how a single act of kindness and integrity could defy conventional expectations. Other companies started revisiting their hiring practices, placing a renewed emphasis on character and resilience. Industry panels and forums featured discussions on how personal values could drive professional success, and Emily's story was often cited as a turning point in modern corporate culture. In her personal life, Emily began to rediscover her sense of self. The missed interview, which had once filled her with regret, was now seen as a necessary detour, a moment that had led her to a future full of promise. She reconnected with old friends and mentors who had always believed in her potential, and she continued to nurture her passion for creative marketing with renewed vigor. Her experience became a source of inspiration for others facing setbacks, proving that sometimes the right choice isn't the easiest or the most conventional one. Community events in Silverton also embraced the message of hope and transformation. Town hall meetings, public forums, and charity events celebrated stories of resilience and integrity, and Emily was invited to share her journey. Every setback can lead to a comeback if you hold true to your values, she told an audience at a local community center, her voice filled with warmth and conviction. The impact of her words was evident in the nods and applause that followed, a collective acknowledgement that kindness and courage were powerful forces capable of changing lives. As the months passed, Reed Innovations continued to thrive under its renewed commitment to ethical leadership and inclusive growth. Emily's contributions were recognized not only in the success of marketing campaigns, but also in the more compassionate, community-focused culture that the company began to foster. The story of her missed interview and subsequent transformation was woven into the fabric of the company's identity, a constant reminder that sometimes life's detours lead to the most profound destinations. In the end, The legacy of that rainy morning and the series of events that followed served as a powerful testament to the belief that our choices define us. Emily Carter's journey from a moment of personal sacrifice to the doorstep of opportunity was a vivid reminder that integrity, when combined with perseverance, can open doors to futures far beyond our wildest dreams. The corporate board, the community, and even the skeptics who once doubted her potential now recognize that success, when built on a foundation of kindness and resilience, is not only sustainable, it is transformative. Central City, with its vibrant diversity and ever-changing skyline, continued to thrive as a place where every individual had the chance to rewrite their destiny. And in that bustling metropolis, Emily's story remained an enduring beacon of hope, a reminder that sometimes missing one opportunity is just the beginning of a journey towards something far greater.